thanks again for everyone who joined. Um, it's really good that you took your time out on the Saturday to spend some time with us. And if you're having problems with the audio, please let me know. The AC over there is pretty loud. Yeah, just welcome for a live top tips for top job search tips for 2020, right? So I'm Joedian. Hi.
Hi, I'm Miriangel. Miriangel. Or
Marianne.
Carolina.
Right. So,
Caroline, sorry, because my account here is Caroline. It's my second name.
oh, okay, cool, right. So, for those who don't know, we launched Crack the Stack. We launched it last year, right? So we've always been very passionate about women in tech, right? We have always been passionate about helping other people find their place within the tech world, right? Breaking the stereotype of what people sometimes think is the typical tech person or what the typical tech job could be, right? So we started Crack the Stack because we're thinking people need tools as a way to help them on how to level up, how to find their best fit tech career, and the tools that they may need to get them there. Some of us are shy. We may have self doubt. We may not have the right tools, or just not the right mentorship to help us to get that tech job, right? So these are the reasons we decided Crack the Stack. We launched Crack the Stack last year. We've been doing some work on the ground with people individually to help them fix their resume, interview tips. I've done live interviews. We have some videos that we plan to launch in terms of how to help you with your English skills interviewing. And we're working with some people on the ground to help people find opportunities in these tough times, right?
So I can continue. So many of you probably are wondering why we did decide to do a live today. And the reason, as you know, right now the humanity is facing the pandemic and all the crisis that has been generated by this. So basically in Crack the Stack, we want to give you 5 recommendations today, 5 top tips today in the job search. So at the end of the live, you can comment or ask questions. So we will answer all your questions. We can interact and, you can send your opinions about that. So initially, I would like to start with the current situation about the market in Costa Rica, because I'm in Costa Rica and Joedian is living in New York. So basically, as you know, Costa Rica is a small country in Central America, and this country basically has 2 basic economic activities. Like the first one is the tourism, and the tourism has been impacted highly for this pandemic. And today we want to give you some information about how is the job search here in Costa Rica. According to our investigation, here in Costa Rica, although there is a lot of people that are losing their jobs, many companies right now are hiring the different people and positions in IT, because the customers want, a smart solution from the employees. So right now in Costa Rica, we have the most important international companies operating here from time ago, like IBM, Amazon, Walmart. So many of the candidates should be on these areas, like developers, web designers, QA, like in automation. So basically that is the current situation. Many of the business like restaurants, hotels, casinos has been impacted. However, most of the staff of these companies are working from home right now. So this is very important to understand and be focused in which is the strategy right now, because this pandemic has generated this situation. So we are facing with a lot of issues, finding job, we feel stressed out. So basically is that. So Joedian can continue explaining how is the market right now in US and specifically in New York.
Cool. So, I mean, for me, I've been seeing a lot of people are losing their jobs. It is true. A lot of people are losing their jobs because their offices have shut down, right? In IT, there sometimes is no longer a need for a particular business. So people are not no longer asking for websites. People may no longer be needing their network engineers to come into the office. There's so many people losing their jobs. Businesses are closing, literally, right? The good thing is though, we're seeing that markets are opening in other places in the world, and because you now can work from home, the market is opening even within the country, where now you can work from Texas, now you can work from any state that you want once the company is willing to hire you. So there are, of course, a lot of cons. I think over 30 million people lost their jobs, but there are some positive sides for people who are in the technology field, in that now if you adapt, there are options available to you that were not available before.
Yes, and it is important to add to that information. For example, here in Costa Rica, many business are like 50% of lockdown. So many restaurants are working as in delivery option. So those kind of companies like Amazon, DHL are looking for positions for people that are allowed to work on this area. So it's very important. And also other business that is growing very fast here is the call centers, the trilingual call centers. I mean, people that has proficiency in Spanish, English, and Portuguese, and also bilingual. So it's very important if you are working in technology, consider that, but also try to reinvent yourself, because I think many people that already have a job and haven't lost their jobs can apply for another activities and do in parallel other economical activities. So it's very important for you to understand that, because right now the world has changed. So I think that is the most important thing to consider right now. So in Costa Rica, basically, as I mentioned before, we have a lot of American companies, and also one of the very important economic activity here is the outsourcing and offshore. Many of these companies are working for American companies and in the rest of the world. So we already have some opportunities here, and it's depending on the perspective that you can see that. So basically, yeah, go ahead.
I just wanted to make a point that there's something that you mentioned yesterday when we spoke, is that global, companies that do deliver food, they're expanding because this pandemic has created an opportunity.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, companies like Uber, they lost, I think, over 2,000 employees. They had to downsize. Airbnb, they had to downsize. But global, Uber Eats, they're expanding because people are needing new things. And I just want to make a point about Jamaica, for example. In Jamaica, it was so hard to get delivery. But now new companies are opening almost every week. The banks, it's usually so hard to get everything done. They're expanding their services. People are really opening up and working in new ways because of this pandemic. And this creates a great opportunity for us working in tech, right? So I think we're going to move to our top 5 tips, and Miri is going to kick us off.
Yeah, the first tip that we want to recommend to you is basically evaluate your local market. As we mentioned, we did a study about how is the business in Jamaica currently and also in Costa Rica. So first of all, I would like to recommend to you, see all the options, how are the needs, the customer needs right now in your neighbor, in your areas. You can apply different filters on LinkedIn in order to see which are the companies, which are the most popular positions that they are looking for, right? So evaluate your market and also be willing to learn new abilities, new skills. Right now, as you know, many people are working from home. So it's pretty important to understand that we need to improve our communication skills, because right now we need to communicate right from home to customers, partners, co-workers, leads, managers. So try to be sure that you are communicating in assertive way, so you can find, on the internet different free trainings in how to improve those skills. And also, it's very important try to improve your English skills or other languages skills. For example, in Latin America, one of the most spoken, as you know, languages is Portuguese. So you can start to study. Of course, right now we have time to do that. So basically, communication skill improvements, languages, study your market, your local market, and also you can start to watch, all the positions on LinkedIn and the different social media. Right now, it's very important. I know many people probably that are following us probably are shy or in the past has mentioned, I'm a developer, I'm not a QA, I'm not a BA, I'm not a project manager, so I don't like to speak a lot. So I think this is the moment to reconsider that, because as much you can expose yourself through the different social media, you will be a good candidate, right? Probably the recruiters will prefer a person that has those communication skills and technical skills than one person that only has technical skills. So consider about that, think about it, and try to start to do some courses or trainings about digital marketing, chat marketing. It's very important, because also if you have already a job, could be a good idea to develop another business. If you are selling products or services, or you are offering your service like a consultant, you can try to sell that through WhatsApp, and there is a business WhatsApp, and also you should have a chat marketing and chat all the platform, right? So it's very important to consider that. So the recommendation one has been, I tried to summarize all the ideas in the point number one. So go ahead with the point number two. Joe, thanks.
Well, and for me, this point is super important. Network. You're home, you have time on your hands. Go on LinkedIn, reach out to people within your field, or people outside of your field, people who represent the field you may want to get in. Go on Instagram, go on WhatsApp, go on Twitter. And I just want to make a point about Twitter. I was never a fan of Twitter, even though I've been on it for 10 years or more. I've just never been active. And I've been active a lot more these days. And what I can tell you is this, right? So many people lost their jobs. And after they posted, I'm looking for a job, please retweet for reach. After maybe 5, 10 retweets, sometimes it reaches thousands of people. And within a week, these people are posting. I have an interview. Sometimes I have a job, right? Within weeks of losing their jobs. This is how powerful a network it is. Well, I used to look at it like Twitter as, something I go on to waste time. And yes, sometimes I do spend more time on it than I need to, but I found that it's also a great tool. LinkedIn is something I can't speak about enough, considering I got my job. I mean, I met you, Mary, because of LinkedIn. I got contacted by a recruiter on LinkedIn for a position, and then I went to Costa Rica, right? And then I met a lot of you guys in Costa Rica. I've been contacted by so many other people just because I do have a presence on LinkedIn. This is super awesome. Have a presence. And I'm going to tell you something else. Do not just look for people who you know on LinkedIn, right? I'll give you a personal example. I was trying to get into this company, and I applied online on their website. I applied on LinkedIn. Nothing happened. Nothing happened.
Yeah.
Then I realized that a couple weeks before, I had added a couple of recruiters from the company, right? So it was strategic. When I find a company that I want to join, I go and I try to find people who are within like 2 degrees of connection, or recruiters who work for that company, and I send connection requests. Not all of them accept it, but some of them will, because they also want to have people within their network from your area. Okay, you're a software developer, you're a project manager, you're a they may be looking for those things as well. So I applied for those jobs. No one responded. I remember that I had a connection from that company. I reached out and I contacted the person. I said, hey, I applied for a job at this particular location. No one responded. Can you do something? They said, well, I'm not from that area, but I have a friend who operates in New York, for example. So he copied me on an email right then and there. The person responded within 1 hour. I had an interview the next day, right? The next day, just because I had that connection. And I was supposed to go on site. I never made it on site because I got another opportunity. But I'm just saying that to say you have these networks. They're there for a reason. Even if you're shy, at least you're behind your screen. Curate what you have on your network. Take a new photo, buy a little light, have a friend take a headshot for you, update your details, and reach out. You can reach out before you actually need a job. And if you need a job right now because you lost your job because of the pandemic, it's not too late. Go, reach out, network, create online environments, create an online group on WhatsApp. Every network is valuable in this pandemic because this is how people are staying connected, right?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
point number 2, network.
Yeah.
So, I think Mary is going to take point number 3.
Yeah, the point 3 is regarding improve your profile, right, on LinkedIn and the different social media. So it's very important to have that. Listen, you need to have your resume up to date. So make sure that you have on your email the latest resume version, and also on LinkedIn, be sure that you are creating and updating accordingly. You can find success profiles on the internet, and also add keywords about your skills, the tools that you manage, and also if you want to go beyond, as I mentioned before, beyond of your skills and your profession, you can add that. If you are a good communicator, if you are good doing videos, editing videos, I don't know, whatever, think about. Because right now I think that humanity needs will need multi-talented people in different areas, not
Yeah.
only in technology. In technology, obviously, everyone is migrating to the digital world, and for that, we are there, right? The QAs, the developers, the managers, but also it's very important to explore other areas in order to give or add value to the customer. So think about it. Think, for example, in your condo, uh, your neighbors need something, need soups, I don't know. Think about it. You can probably resolve that issue. So try to be very creative on LinkedIn and in the different CompuTrabajo, the different headhunters that you already have a profile. And also, we can recommend to you create some content, try to post much more, create essays or articles, papers, try to interact much more. And why not consider to create a personal video in where you can tell to the people and to the world your talents. You are available, I'm available, I'm a system engineer, I'm here, I can helping you to resolve this problem on delivering or in whatever business that it's pretty important right now, right? So try to think about it and be very creative, because the world needs very creative people right now. Go ahead.
And to add some points to the resume thing, as Miriangel mentioned, update your resume, keep it updated. Sometimes people say, "Oh, send me your resume." You're like, "I don't have one. You've been working for so many years." As soon as you start a new job, add it. Same way you may add it to LinkedIn, add it to your resume so that you have that copy. And as you get new responsibilities, add it to your resume as well. And something very important, keep different copies of your resume.
Yeah.
So we spoke about adapting. Adapting may mean taking on a new role. Like currently I'm a TPM. I was a TPM before, right? This means you have to learn how to create your content, your experiences to fit into those roles. So no matter what your past was, what you did before, you can write a resume, have those experiences written in such a way that you can speak to the new role that you want, right? We do resume writing services. We will help you with your resume. There are also people offering those services online free. There are also services like Fiverr, where you can go on and pay someone $55 to go and review your resume. Especially if English is not your first language, and you are seeking a job where English is important, you could just use one of those services. We're willing, send us an email with your resume. We will review it for you, right? Because we know times are hard and we're seeking to help people, right? Help as many people as we can. Help you look over your resume to see if we can give you some pointers. Like, don't put on your personal info, right? We do not know need to know how old you are. We do not need to a photo of you. And you know, we don't need to know your national ID number either, right? So again, your resume, super important. Keep it updated and keep relevant.
Yeah. Nowadays, it's unacceptable. Don't have the resume updated on your email, for example, and it's very fast to send or in Dropbox or whatever. Another thing that I wanted to mention regarding the profiles, for example, in QA, I wanted to mention in QA because that is my era that I already have 12 years. It's very important right now to add all the tools that you manage, like load testing, performance testing, because as you know, right now, many people or everyone is using internet. So it's very important to have a good average response time on the website for our customers. So as you know, if an application has more than 4 seconds, probably the user will leave the application on the website. That is a problem and an issue that many customers are facing. So as a QA, it's good to have or start to learn about performance and the different tools like JMeter, BlazeMeter, okay, also web performance testing. So try to add all that information that can add value to our customers and just do it.
And the fourth point is to look beyond your borders. Look beyond your borders. So sometimes we constrain ourselves about what we can do and where we can do it, right? Those are the top two things that you see us doing in our job search. So where can we do it? Yes, you may live in a country that you super love. I am from Jamaica. I love Jamaica. Mary is from Venezuela. She loves Venezuela. But sometimes the opportunities that you're seeking they just don't exist where you are. In these cases, you know, look outside your border. Look outside your city. See if the opportunity you want exists somewhere outside your city. Speak to your family if you have one. See if it is something they're willing to do. It may be hard to move during a pandemic, but it will be over. I promise you. I don't know when, but it will be over. So look beyond your country. I relocated to Costa Rica, Miriangel as well, right? It wasn't something that was super easy, but we did it. And I can tell you sometimes, not saying that another country or another city is better than yours, but sometimes the opportunity that exists for you could be different.
Yeah.
Right? Be willing to seize that. And to be willing to seize that, you have to have an open mind. You have to have an open mind, right? Look outside your comfort zone. As I mentioned before, I'm now a TPM. It's not a role I had before, right? I used to code and I love coding in that I just wasn't thinking much beyond it. But when you move to a new country or when you get to a point in your life where you may have more qualifications or you realize it could be your money, it could be you need more money, or you think your experiences could provide more value somewhere else, be willing to look outside your comfort zone, look outside the role, and just work on something different. This pandemic is giving us a great opportunity. It is not a good thing, the pandemic. Let me reiterate that. But it is giving us an opportunity to do things in different ways, right? Bank tellers now have to be working from home. Before, you could have people in your job that didn't even like using the computer, right? You were secretary, you preferred to write things on paper, right? Because it was fine. The filing cabinet was right there. Now during this pandemic, everything has to go virtual. This means you have to look how you can do your job in different ways, or look how your job may have become obsolete, and look how you can just take on the new role, right? So as I mentioned, just look outside your comfort zone. Look outside your borders. Look outside your country. Look outside your city. Look outside your country.
Yeah, we are an example of that because I already have 5 years living here in Costa Rica thanks to a relocation process. So nothing is impossible, even although in countries that, you know, we don't have democracy, So it's a great opportunity to look, as Joedian mentioned, other side and think about it. Just apply to the different jobs. And many countries probably will need a very talented people and high professional people in other continents or countries. So that is very important, definitely. Okay, so I'm going.
Yeah,
Okay.
and before we go to our last one, just to reiterate what our points were before, the person wants to evaluate your market, right? See what it is that your market currently needs, and go for it. Number two, network, 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 network. In your job search, you may not have the right people there to help you with the job, but someone else may. So network. Keep your resume up to date and with the relevant information. Number four, look outside your borders, your cities, your comfort zone. You may find an opportunity where you never expected it. And Mary's going to speak to about the fifth point, which is right up her alley, and it's super, super important as well.
Yeah, super important. Please don't be panicked. No more panic than we already are, right? So first of all, try to handle the stress, because right now everyone is under a lot of pressure and everyone is stressed out. That is pretty normal. Sometimes you can feel in different moments during a month that it's like a roller coaster of emotions, right? That is pretty normal. I think everyone has passed through the different level of emotions. So don't feel bad if you need your time, if you are confined at home with the rest of the family members. Try to have your own space and try to create a routine, okay? Could be Sunday to Sunday, in where you can start your day, taking a shower, having a breakfast, probably before your work hours, you can start to do some exercise. And also, it's very important, and let me tell you that for me has been a life-changing experience doing that. Try to meditate. In internet there's a lot of information and a lot of guidance in how to meditate, and I'm not talking about religion. I'm talking about some minutes to relax and slow the speed of your mind. That is pretty important. So you can use, for example, binaural music. If you find out on YouTube, you will find a lot of songs or music, better binaural, and that music is very relaxing. Can you get in a relaxed moment before sleep? If you are facing some sleeping issues, that could be a good approach in order to have a good sleep very well, because it's very important to have high level of energy in order to complete your projects, your work. It's very important to control that. And also another thing that is so much important is, be conscious about your breathing. If you will present, you will go alive, or you're gonna have an interview, or you are discussing with someone, try to do different breathing exercises. And you also can find a lot of guidance on YouTube. You can follow, for example, Ismael Cala is a CNN journalist and very famous speaker and coach. And usually every Sunday he has live with meditation techniques, so you can use that. For me, for example, I have used in the last 3 months a technique that is called 474, but there are a lot of techniques that you can use. So think about it. Be conscious about your breathing. Meditate at least 10 minutes per day. We think in the future and in the present, probably the companies will start, instead have games rooms, probably will start to have meditation rooms, because it's very important to increase your productivity. Definitely is manage your stress, breathe much better, speak much better. So think about it. No matter if you are a developer, if you are a doctor, a dentist, you can use these techniques right now. So try to also, I wanted to recommend, don't see a lot of media news, because we already know what is going on with the coronavirus? I mean, we already know with techniques or restriction or how to prevent the infection. We already know all the information about the coronavirus. So it's not necessary right now to add more stress, more pressure, about the information. So try to find information that add value to your life. Try don't consume, toxic information on internet. So basically, you need to learn how to handle the stress. That is basic.
And you may wonder, like, why is this even there, right? You thought we were going to tell you something about how to hack the search or how to ensure that you're going to get a job. But managing your stress is super important. Why? If you're not stressed, or if you know how to manage your stress, even if you lose your job, you may be able to get into the right mindset to prepare yourself for the job search. Don't go and apply for jobs that are not the correct fit, or you're going to be miserable in just because of the stress of the situation, right? If you know how to manage stress, even if you are so desperate, you go into that interview with a relaxed mood, you're able to calmly proceed through that interview and for the job, right? If you can manage your stress, you can help yourself prepare, right? So, I mean, it is really, really hard time for anyone who lost their jobs, or, they're unsure of what will happen in the next 2 weeks. It's so easy to panic, but I can tell you, follow the steps that Miriangel mentioned, right? Try to relax, look at how, if you lose your job, how you're going to function. If you already lost your job, look at what you need to do to prepare. Honestly, you can't do the other 4 steps if you're not in the right mindset. And this means you have to learn how to manage your emotions about the current times around coronavirus, around the protests for Black Lives Matter, right? For people who are living in the US, it could be disrupting how you go about doing your business, just like the corona. But if you panic, if you get so stressed out, it could ruin your chance to perform well in your next interview.
Yeah, and also
right?
and also the stress can impact to our performance. So if you already have a job or any economical activity and you are, always stressed out, your productivity will be slower and will be low.
Yeah.
So try to manage that, and more these days. And nowadays, in many countries, for example, if you lose your job, many banks, you can speak out about that. You can call to the bank and speak about your credit or your mortgage. Think that we have a lot of solutions because everyone is struggling with this crisis. So think about that. I know probably this is not the best recommendation, but we need to understand and live the present and don't think about all the time in the future. That is very important because otherwise you will be in panic all the time. So that is pretty. So I don't know if someone want to comment which are the 5 top tips that we already gave to you, if you remember and you paid attention to our live. If someone can summarize that, the 5 tips are pretty easy. And also we can start to read some comments.
Yeah, I see a comment here from Agrippin JA. Pandemia has just highlighted, I guess, the reality that has been arisen from some time ago, and people who can capitalize and adapt to the new opportunities are the ones that are going to get the best job. And for sure, persons who can capitalize and adapt. And adapt means also strategically working your way out of this situation. It means not stressing, not panicking. It is what it is in terms of the fact that the pandemic is here. But what are we going to do to ensure that once it leaves, or once we have a vaccine, right? How are we going to function in the new normal?
Yeah, and there's someone called Mel Life 2011. I don't know if it's Melina, but she said, and actually that is a typical question in an interview. How do you manage the stress? So they test your emotional intelligence, definitely. Right now, it's pretty important to not only to have the intelligence, common intelligence, IQ, also the EQ, that is emotional quotient, right? So try to manage that. And also you can do the activities and hobbies that you most likely enjoy. So try to do that, because everything that make you have endorphins in your body will make you happy. So try to do that. And another
And I see web grammar says, is there any recommendations from you regarding how to highlight my soft skills in the CV without getting lost in all the technical skills? That is a great question, right? So I think something that shows that you have great soft skills is your ability to work in a group and achieve something. It could be leading the group, it could be being a part of the group. So what I would say, if you're highly technical, it's easy to list all those skills, all those certifications. But what I would highlight are those times where I worked with a group to successfully implement something. So I would probably put, okay, worked on a team to implement X, right? Or if I was leading the team, I would say, okay, led a team to do certain things, etc., to success. Because one of the highlights of being successful with your soft skills is the ability to successfully implement a particular solution, right? So I mean, you can't put that, okay, I'm friendly and I'm easygoing, right? There's really no place to put that. But you can put what you and your team did, which shows teamwork, what you led a group to do, which shows that you do have enough soft skills, or you do have enough respect. You have the ability to persuade people enough for them to work together. And I think that's a great way to show yourself.
Yeah, there is another comment, Agripina. Mm-hmm. Pandemia has just highlighted that has been.
I think we did that one already.
I don't know. It's hard to read because the color of the font.
Okay.
Can you read it?
Yeah, we did that one already, but there's another one, unless I'm wrong, that says the concept of global citizen is now more important than ever, because now you can work around the world just from your own spot. You need to just open your mental boundaries. You want to speak to that one, Mary? You want me to repeat it?
Sorry?
You want me to repeat that one? It said the concept of global citizen is now more important than ever, because now you can work around the world just from your own spot, right? You just have to open your mental boundaries.
Yeah, definitely. You need to open. Try to think if you are needed in other continent in Europe or in Italy, in Spain. No matter. Obviously, you need to evaluate according to your needs, your expectations in your family. If you want to relocate, if you have children, you need to evaluate. I mean, in Spanish we have something called FODA, that is a matrix with the with all the opportunities, strengths, and you can evaluate that part to see if that job opportunity is good for you and your family. So evaluate that.
And to the point about global citizen, I'm glad you mentioned that, because so many people that we've met, I mean, me, Miriangel, that we work with, they've moved on to other countries. Maybe they're third or fourth country now, right? So with the right framework, with the right skills, companies are more than willing to relocate you, because some of them have been searching for these skills, and they're not able to find it. Companies are relocating their entire teams to other countries. Why? Because the skills that they need, they cannot find them where they are. So yes, you just have to open your mind. Yeah, look at the opportunity that moving presents and go for it. And I see web grammar has, again, what is something you will consider vital for someone willing to relocate outside your language? And Alex, if you know me, when I moved to Costa Rica, I went with my 9th grade Spanish, which means quiero un sandwich, quiero pan. These were the terms I basically knew, right? And I still went because I saw it as a great opportunity. So I also think, especially if you don't speak the language, you can look at whether or not it would be easy for you to go and get a sandwich or rent a place. What are those difficulties, with those kind of issues? But I think you mentioned, let me just go back to specify what you said. You said the vital outside of language, right? Salary. I'm going to say that number one. The number one thing to consider when you're relocating outside of your language is salary.
The salary and
Salary.
how is the cost of life in that country is pretty important to understand, because the only way that you can analyze the salary offer against the cost of life in that country is that comparing, okay, this is the salary, but probably the country is very expensive, the quality of life. So that is pretty important when you consider relocate, and also your interest. If you are a person that like the tourism, probably you would prefer countries like Costa Rica, for example. And if you prefer to be, in a quiet and in a peaceful place, probably you would prefer Germany or Switzerland. So try to think about it: salary and the conditions, and the quality of life, the insurance
and
also. How is
health insurance especially.
Yeah.
I just want to go back to salary to say, as Miriangel rightfully said, when I said salary, it is in direct relation to the cost of living, not in relation to the salary you're making now, right? So don't try to compare the fact that you're making 50,000 US dollars now when you're going to make 40,000 there. That's not what I mean. I meant specifically whatever tools they're giving you to map the rent, the other areas cost of living. If you have family, school. When I moved to Costa Rica, that's one thing that really, really shocked me: the cost of school. So I mapped out everything, food, the cost of living in terms of rent, etc. But I never looked at the cost of private school, which is super high.
Yeah.
So yeah, look at how easy it would be for you to adapt. Look at how easy it would be for you to live. Look at what restrictions there are for you to rent. I've had friends who have moved, and the people there just do not rent to locals, right? So if you move to a city or a country like that, make sure that your company offers you, let's say, 3 months rent, or they help you to find placement, or they're willing to accommodate you in whatever way possible to ensure that you can get over that barrier of not being able to rent place on your own.
Yeah, definitely. It's very important. And how much is the Big Mac? It's another good question, but it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
The Big Mac. And there's places like Numbio. Yeah, Numbio, and I don't remember the other one. Check those websites, because as I mentioned, people who are living in that place, wherever you want to go, will comment, and they'll tell you currently what they pay for rent, what they pay for, etc. And I just want to make another point, Mary. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry.
And I don't mean I don't want to go into stability in terms of democracy or whether or not the place is in turmoil, because that is a given. But the social or cultural norms is something that is important. And for example, you could be of another religion or have another way of living or dressing, and for you it's pretty normal. But when you're moving to another country, you should be able to know what those social or cultural norms are, because in some places it can get you in trouble even with the law. All right? So for me, those are things.
No, for me, it's very important to know, for example, if there is a democracy or not, because definitely if not, that can change my choose right. So
yeah, so it's very, very, very important. And I mean, while we're here, we don't see any more questions. I think there's a point that how do you manage stress is a great way to test emotional intelligence.
Yeah.
It's just as Mary said, right? You have to learn how to manage stress, because it's important in how you're going to perform on the job as well.
Yeah.
How are you going to respond when you get in a conflict with a client or a conflict with your co-worker, when you did not get the raise that you wanted? How are you going to handle those, working to 9 p.m. because something crashed in production?
And
How are
also,
you going to
and
handle it?
also, why not? You can evaluate how is the society in the country that you are planning to go. That could be. There are miscellaneous, but you can consider that as well.
Yeah, so let me see if there is
I can.
something else. We missed a comment or anything. Cool, no comment. Is there something that just to wrap up, is there something that you want to add, Mary, in terms of something that you think is critical right now, for the job search?
Mm, no, I think I said everything. How I'm handling, for example, the situation. In my case, for example, I already have 3 months or more confined at home alone because my family is trapped in other countries. So for me, it has been a life-changing experience to do this and try to do my work as better I can. But I just wanted to say to the audience that you can try to think about that. How can you handle this situation? But don't have a lot of expectation in the future because no one, I think nobody knows what is going to happen. Every country has different restrictions. In some countries are returning to their normal life, but think about what is normal life. So probably normal life will be a huge change from this moment to the future. So I think that is my, like a conclusion about this life. Try to live your life. Try to do the best you can. Try, don't be panic, as we mentioned before. Try to be multi-talent and think about, because everyone has multi-talents. Think about how much you can do right now to other people, to help other people in your location, in place, or whatever. So basically it's that.
Yeah. As you mentioned, Mel is asking a question. Let me just finish this, Mel, and I'll answer you. I just want to add a point about the new normal. Whatever is going to happen, it's going to be driven by technology. It is going to be technology driven, right? We're going to spark whatever new normal it is. Us people working in technology. So read up, right? Look into those news about where we're going. Look into new payment methods, new ways of getting around, new ways of things are going to change. And I think we lost Mary, and we are going to be the forefront of that. So just be prepared. Being in technology is a great place to be right now, right? I'm a TPM. I guess I could say that I'm helping to manage change, literally, as we try to develop solutions for the new normal. We're developing solutions for the new normal. We're just going to be part in this change. So just be prepared. Go ahead, learn something new, relearn what you already knew, because let me add back Mary, because this is where it's going to be, right? So Mary is going to join.
Sorry, I lost my connection for some reason.
So I saw a new question. It said, how do you know when to do a salary negotiation, and if there's a technique you can share?
The salary is directly related to how many problems you can solve to the customer right now. So think about that.
Okay, cool. So, what did I do? Okay, cool. Right. So, I mean, for me, I think the main thing about salary negotiations, and I've read the book. I don't remember. When I remember the name, I'll finish it. We have 27 seconds of it. But the most important thing is practice. I think I get better and you get better each time you go into a new role. So as the timer counts down, I will say to you, research the rate for the role, ask a friend, ask someone who's been in the role. Go on Glassdoor is kind of accurate, right? And then go in with that number. Go in with that number. Yeah, so basically, we just came back to say bye because the live got cut off, right? So,
Thank you very much for joining, and well, be aware and watch and follow us in the social media. Oh, what
oh,
did you do? You are
oh,
playing.
boy.
So try
Hey,
to.
I'm listening.
In the future, we will try to do another lives, and also if you have any comment in Spanish, don't. It doesn't matter. We can translate. The idea on this interaction was the first one that we are relaunching the brand and the project. So try to keep in touch and see what is gonna happen. Um, if you have any question, any consultancy, you can follow us in the social media on LinkedIn, on Instagram, Facebook. So try to keep in touch.
Yeah, and I saw Melina rejoin, so I just kind of want to go back to her question about negotiation. I don't remember the name of the book. I'll post it. But Melina, as I can tell you, negotiation is something that you get better with practice. Honestly, I still feel, weird every time I need to go and tell someone a number, right? But I think it's so important, so much better what what your number is. And you can only know if there is some salary transparency, right? But take a friend aside, ask them, what is it? What is the salary like? Ping someone you don't know from the company. Say, hey, I've been offered a particular role. Case in point, since I was in Intertech, people contacted me from Jamaica and said to me, hey, Intertech offering me this. Does it make sense? And I've honestly said to people, from my experience, this does not make sense. People who have been in really, really great careers in Jamaica, for example, and it would make sense. It would make sense for them to come with their family, etc. So you have to know, and you have to have a number. You have to know what the number is, and you can only get that number through research. Of course, if you're being headhunted, someone is seeking you, running you down, you have a bit more of a leverage to say, hey Dennis, I want 10% more than what I'm making because you're comfortable. Give them that number and they either take it or they leave it. Right? I've been in a position where I tried negotiating with a particular company. They said, hey, it's fine, we'll give it a number. And in the end, they came back and said, well, we didn't get that number approved. Right? So there's also that risk. There's also that risk. But if you have an idea what that number is, you have a better foot going in. And I went into that negotiation being comfortable where I was, knowing what the number was that they gave other people and reaching for above that number, right? Hoping that they would ask for less. And if they had come to me and said, okay, we can give you this, I would have accepted it because that would have still been my number, my ideal number. So for me, know the number that you're working for and just try to go above that by a particular percent. Of course, these are different times. I will not tell anyone that they lost their job in COVID and they're getting an offer and it's $100 less and they're going to say no. I definitely would not say that. I have taken a job that paid me less than my previous job because I wanted that job. Because the benefits I was getting in that job is better, in my opinion, from where I was in my life than the money I was getting before. Right? So there's also that. But you have to know your number, your lower number, your higher number, right? And just have that number, roll with it. And be willing to negotiate other things as well. I have negotiated extra vacation days, and I have negotiated extra time off from the office. I have negotiated a sign-on bonus. By taking lower salary. So there are other options to negotiate and not just salary. All right. And more questions? Welcome. see we have 2 new visitors in our new
Now
session.
we have other people in for now.
I think Carlos.
Yeah, people from Spain has joined the call.
Yes,
If you have any question, guys, you can put your comments, any question or concerns about the job search right now in the world, and we can answer and comment and interact with you. So
yeah,
I don't know if you have an I forgot to mention something. I don't know, Joe, if you want to see any recommendation, because many people, as you know, or many companies are reducing staff, reducing accounts, reducing personnel in general, and also they are applying pay cut. So in that case, how the people can handle that? If the companies are reducing the work hours per day, how the employees can handle that in that moment, because they need to consider, okay, if I left the job, I will lose everything, the full salary. So probably they will need to still working in that company, but they will need to try to do another business activity in parallel, or trying to offer services to other company as a contract per hour. So I don't know how, if you can explain a little bit, if you have more experience on that.
Sure. And before I go into that, I think the time that we posted before was 5 p.m. New York, 4 p.m. Jamaica, 3 p.m. Costa Rica. So we actually went on for 1 hour before this for the people just joining, and we posted that video to IGTV. It should be uploaded right now. So we came back to just kind of continue the discussion after those 5 top tips. So you can go and check that out. Okay. So in terms of my philosophy is this, right? Some money is better than nothing, right? So coming off this, if you were making a substantial amount, especially if you were able to save, I think I would not personally get mad right at the minute, considering I know the situation that's happening now, to say I am going to leave because I have to take a pay cut. Companies are really struggling. Not every company has enough liquidity, etc., to keep paying salaries for months and months and months. So this means that to keep everyone on board, right? To keep everyone on board, they have to reduce their expenditure. And one of the easiest place for them to reduce it is in salaries. It's not that easy, because some companies may have paid their rent for the entire year, paid for 6 months. It's not so easy for them to go back and take the money from their landlord and say, hey, we can't pay. So they may have to reduce the money that they pay in terms of salary. Same as to say, even if, right, or let me say, if it turns out that the salary after your pay cut is not a livable wage, you have kids at home and it just doesn't make any sense, you have the right, you have to evaluate your situation. Okay, this doesn't make any sense based on the responsibilities I have at home and based on the amount of work that I'm doing. But only you and your family can make that decision. And if you decide that based on what's happening now, with the fact that you have to take a pay cut, this is not the company for you, go ahead and start applying. I think it's a myth that companies are not taking on people. Of course, some companies aren't, but in our field, you may find a company that is looking for your exact set of skills right now, right? So if you find that your company was not as solvent as you thought it was, and it had to give you a pay cut after 1 month, then this could mean there's another problem with your company. So start applying, find something else, try to find a better position, so that if a situation like this happens again, you're in a better position. Try to find a company that has better liquidity. Some companies are not laying off, not even one person during this pandemic, right? And that would be the type of company you want to be with if something like this occurs again.
And another point that we forgot to mention about relocation process is, for example, try to make sure that the company that is trying to relocate to you to another country, that company be in charge about your residence process. That is very important, because in our case, when we were relocated to Costa Rica with this American company, that was, for me at least, one of the most important things. You know, I didn't pay to any lawyer in order to get the residence. So that is critical, I think, for the family to consider when are evaluating to relocate or travel or whatever, move to other countries. So try to consider that.
Yeah, and it comes back to what Web Grammar had asked, because I know I'm trying to remember which country. I think I don't want to tell a lie. The country was Australia, but some countries, the employer cannot pay for your process. They can give you the job offer, but you have to be the one to go through all the paperwork, to go through all the process on your own. And for me, that's a big, big risk. It costs you money, and then if you don't get approved, all that money will be gone because your company's not paying for it, right? So, great point, Ruby. I would rather find a company and a country where those expenses and that stress can be managed by the company, a lawyer on behalf of the company, and not yourself.
Yeah, yeah. Those processes are very expensive, very expensive. You know, and you need to understand what kind of residence do you need to get the job and to live in the country, and if that residence should be, you know, very related to the company. If in your ID you will find the name of your company, so that is a restriction that probably you will have in your residence. So those kind of topics you need to clarify with the recruiter and with the company that is offering you the job. So basically it's that. Another thing also, I think we forgot to mention as an opinion and comment, is what about the countries that don't have the insurance for unemployed insurance, like Costa Rica? But in Latin America, if you go to Chile, for example, I think they have, but not all the countries have that. So I don't know how it's in US, in New York. I don't know if you can tell about that.
Well, I wouldn't qualify because I just moved here. but
now I'm interviewing you.
I think no one thinks we're going to walk into a pandemic, and that is true. No, we never expected this, what's happening. So, I mean, but it's something we can think about now, right? If you're thinking to relocate to another country, look at what their social system is like. Look at what their social benefits are like. So I can speak about Costa Rica. Like for me, when I went to Costa Rica and I learned about the sick leave system, it was very weird for me because in Jamaica, I could call my boss and I could say, I don't feel well. I have the flu. I don't even have to tell him what. And I could stay home for 2 days and I would get paid. I don't need a doctor's certificate, right? In Costa Rica, I basically had to drag myself to the doctor to pay almost $100 to get that certificate to hand into HR to get the leave, right? And these are things to consider also in terms of whether or not you're covered by health insurance by your company, if you will be covered for health reasons within the company. If you break your leg, how would you function, right? So these kind of social benefits, it's something you could think about or you could research as well, especially if you have family. Especially if you have family.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely. If you have a family, and also what kind of profession have your partner, your wife, or your husband? That is important. How is the market about that profession in that country? Because probably you are relocating, right? But what about your partner? If she's a doctor, she's a dentist, how is the market there? So that is important to consider, right? When you have a family.
Any more questions for us?
More questions? Because this is a bonus.
Yeah, we've been live.
This was a bonus.
This is our second video, but we started over 1 hour ago, so.
yeah, more than 1 hour ago. Okay. So well, let's say goodbye. Thank you. I think it's the end. Thank you very much for joining. Keep in touch, as I mentioned before, and well, have a great weekend. Enjoy.
Well, yeah, again, for me, thank you for taking your time to join us on today's Saturday. The first part of the video is already should be uploaded on IG Live. We'll be uploading this section as well. Feel free to share, comment. If you have idea for topics that you'd love for us to talk about next time, share them with us. We would love to get online with you guys again. And so we have a question next. That
Alex,
would be the last question answer before we
he doesn't want to
um
leave. He doesn't want
yeah,
to
you
leave.
don't want us to leave. So yeah, so we're gonna answer the question and then we're gonna be out.
I don't know. How was the question about relocation? Well, in my
So it
case,
says
I can
what have been the
say
best
before leaving, in my case, well, I love Costa Rica. This is a wonderful country. I'm a resident, officially permanent resident. So I'm so happy to be here and for the opportunity. I have grown a lot. I have my house. I have my things, my stuff here, and I feel safe. You know that is more important thing. This is a safe place. So in my experience, because I'm coming from a very violent country like Venezuela. So I don't know what is the opinion of Jordan, but Jordan now is in New York.
me? No, I mean, I don't live in New York. I don't live there. I just worked there. So for me, I would say the culture and the people. Culture because I especially discovered Le Mans where so much food was like mine in Jamaica. It was an amazing experience. When I just went to Costa Rica, I was like, how do people eat rice for breakfast? But trust me, I can't wait to have some gallo pinto. Yo quiero gallo pinto, yo quiero gallo pinto con huevos y salchichas y todo. Y todo. The culture. And with the culture for me came the language. As I mentioned, I went to Costa Rica with a grade in Spanish, and after 5 years, I was forced to adapt. I still don't speak well, but I think I can get by. And the people, I met amazing people in Costa Rica. Unfortunately, some of them relocated before I left, so I lost amazing friends who went to Netherlands, they went to Germany, they went to US, they went to Canada. People were just leaving me left, right, center. But yes, I met really, really amazing people. Luckily for us, we can say we work for a really good company, a company we enjoyed, a company we were able to grow in, and we were able to do great things in women in tech and move forward. So yeah, so it's like, for me, it's
We
all,
made friends. We made friends.
it was awesome. It was
Yeah.
awesome.
So good.
All right. So
Well,
again,
thank
thanks for joining
you.
us. Leave your comments about what you want to talk about next time. And yeah, look out for other great things. Great collaborations from us. All right. Ciao. Bye.
Bye. Ciao. Ciao.